Hello, everybody. It's me, Master Juniper Blue Mystique. I've got some energy for this week ahead of you. And what I've been talking about a lot this last week since 4th of July and even beyond that is that waves of justice are on their way. Waves of justice are on their way. Now, we all are pretty much aware that Trump assassination occurred, and I did a live on that yesterday, and I channeled what God said about that. Okay, so I encourage you to watch that video. It was my live just yesterday. And right away, we already have some shifting occurring. On 4th of July, I channeled about Trump versus Biden. And in it, they said, from demise to rise, don't be fooled by the disguise. Now, this is going to lead you into the energy this week as well, because this upcoming Lionsgate portal is the reason why all of these things are finally starting to shift, because you are in full swing, my friends, in the return of Christ. Let's look at this. Let's look at this, my friends. Let's look at this.
Anyone with 10,000.
Judge dismisses Donald Trump's classified documents case. Now, I talked about that. In the beginning of the return of Christ, I did stuff with that. I would remote view not remote view. I would go outside of my body. I have protected him. He is not of the darkness. He's here to help bring down the darkness. Okay. He has been protected multiple times through myself, through God. He has been grounded. I had to ground him back when he was in the White House. And he was given documents. I've talked about that a lot, so I encourage you to watch the videos. Now, the reason he was doing that and that happened is because in the return of Christ and the ascension, you can't lie anymore. You cannot lie anymore. All lies are going to be exposed. This is karma playing out. Now, this week is all about further waves of justice, okay? Now, they attempted to assassinate him yesterday or day before, right? I don't know. Let's listen to this.
So much again. All right, Doug, thank you so much. Again, former President Trump right now is in Milwaukee for the Republican.
Let me try to turn it up. My volume's down. Hang on. You won't be able to hear it. This might beep in your ear. Bear with me. All right. Again, this was unexpected. It came in right when I was channeling this week ahead, and God said waves of justice are playing out right now. So check this out. And remember, 4th of July, if you watch my video, I said it's from demise to rise. Don't be fooled by the guys, the disguise, the man behind the curtain type stuff.
All right, Doug, thank you so much. Again, former President Trump right now is in Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention. But this image right here does show you Mar-a-Lago as we get to the latest here on this breaking story we're following. The federal judge presiding over the classified documents case of the former president in Florida has dismissed the prosecution, siding with defense lawyers who said the special counsel who filed the charges was illegally appointed. I do want to talk more about all of this here. So,
did I hear that right? The person who filed the charges was illegally appointed? And do you guys realize that they keep saying something is not right with the assassination? It's pointing to an inside job, right? It is pointing to an inside job. There was one that I saved. Let's look at that one really quick too. So charges were dropped. Oops. Let's go back. Don't play that. Shh. Okay. So I saved this one. Where'd it go? I know I saved it. I know I did. Could have swore I saved it. Times of India, Just on Fire. So this guy, I want to go to his channel because he just did one today too. Bear with me because I didn't expect to show you this, but I need to.
We gained, let's see.
So Trump sniper makes shocking claim. Witness protection immediately. Okay. But I want to go to his channel because today he did another one that sparked my interest. Pretty sure it was him that I saw it on.
And they're affecting these people that have worked.
So Joe Rogan, I stay clear of personally. Okay, here we go. Donald Trump's assassination attempt has deep state markers all over it.
out of the sky and knows this.
Ready?
So what do the conspirators always want you to think about the person who attempted or successfully assassinated someone they were after? Lone gunman. That is always what they are after. And in their propaganda outlet, where they're interviewing some guy that magically fell out of the sky and knows this guy from high school, listen to how he prompted this question and then listen to this kid's answer.
Yeah. I want to say he was a loner more because he was
Definitely a loner, definitely a lone gunman. Obviously, we know what the topic here is, but we're going to talk about the details surrounding this incident that do not line up. Because
Now, yesterday during my live, I showed you the shooter actually did a video right before it that said, you got the wrong guy. He said, I hate Trump, I hate Republicans, but you got the wrong guy. So pay very close attention, you guys, because I'm going to give you also this message for the week ahead after I show you this. But it's super important because I've been telling you, from demise to rise, you don't pay attention to the false guys. It depends on what side you're on. These are a timeline split. So if you can't see, if you don't choose it, there is only one division right now, and that is darkness to light. Okay, this is the return of Christ, and I know what I did, and I know what's coming, very much so. So let's listen.
because there are a lot. There's also a new video out that is so suspicious to me. I don't even know how to properly verbalize. I'm gonna have to show it to you guys because it does not make sense. And it absolutely, to me, looks like conspiracy cover-up. This is a thing to make you think a thing, but this is not real. And we're going to talk about that.
So you guys, I told you this Lionsgate portal is no joke. If you are not aligned to God, you will not remain. Our time limit of the ascension, I'm going to get into that a little bit too. I might really deep dive into that on Wednesday because it's not what you think. When I did a video a long time ago, I said we only had like 2 cycles left, but there's 2 years in the energy basically for you to heal, for you to truly heal enough. Because if you're not rising with every portal and choosing the right path every way through your karma in disguise, you don't make it. Those are the keys. Listen.
Very cautious about how you talk about those things. But I'm just going to tell you, my spidey sense is screaming at me when I watch this video. Okay. And so also I want to show you guys the setup, where the shooter was, where the stage was, and explain to me exactly how anyone could have gotten onto that roof and taken that shot. Riddle me that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what was. So yesterday, you guys, let me show you. Yesterday, I did my live. I encourage you to watch it because God gave a message in that too. Okay. He literally said yesterday that, well, I have it written down somewhere, I think. I don't know where I wrote it down. It was all channeled, but, God is here. Let me show you. It's in here. You can find it in my live from yesterday. Okay. What he talked about is John Wilkes Booth said the same thing when he shot Abraham Lincoln. It was basically those who go against the matrix are tyrannies, and they will be taken out with whatever means necessary, and they call it justification. Okay. And God literally said it was an inside job. Please watch this video right here. He said it was an inside job. Okay. I have so many notebooks. I wish I knew exactly. I should have had it right here in front of me. Oh yeah, no, it's right here. All right. This is what God said yesterday. Are you ready? Inside job, Democratic Party aligned elite soldiers at play to demolish what is coming their way. Now hear me. Wasn't Trump just freed of all charges? Up on the rooftop, it may seem is such a random placement. Up on the rooftop, it may seem is such a random placement. This was the message that I got from God about what happened. Not the case. Was planned for months and days to cause a rift and shift as before in familiar ways. Sorry for people loud in my yard. Pay attention to the man behind this. Pay no attention to the man behind the screen. Things are never what they want it to seem. Okay. Soldier who worked for Democratic Party. Trump has things up his sleeve they know are on their way. And in order to survive this is their common ways. Demise unfolding piece by piece. Be an observer, not a spectator. Okay. So you might really want to take that seriously. I wouldn't throw judgments at anything. Be an observer, no matter what is happening right now, okay? Because the world is about to unfold in front of your eyes. If you watched the Return of Christ work that I did, I demolished the White House. It cannot remain. So you're watching piece by piece unfolding in the demise of the Matrix right in front of your eyes. And whatever side you are on is light or dark. That's it. Let's watch.
And then we're going to look at some other things that just seem very notable, like Nancy Pelosi's tweet. And if you follow our other channel, Play with Matches with Gabby and Jesse, which is Gabrielle and my channel, we just posted a video about this, and we covered a couple of the same things. And this is going to be a very different tone video because I don't know, man. I'd like to just, if I'm hanging out with my wife, you get the version of me that's hanging out with my wife. Now you're going to get me. This channel is called Jesse on Fire. That's exactly what you're going to get. So look at like Nancy Pelosi's post in response to this incident is one of the most repulsive things I've ever seen. I mean, I'm talking like utterly repulsive, a complete demonstration of who she is. More important than the demonstration of who she is the demonstration of who Trump is, though, who that guy is. In the face of all tests, he came millimeters from death in that moment, millimeters. And he stood up and pumped his fist and fired up the crowd. You're telling me that's not the person you want leading the country?
Yeah.
Because he said some things on Twitter you didn't like? Okay, that's battle tested on the global scale. He got hit with a bullet that was intended to kill him, to turn his lights out.
Can you guys imagine what they're thinking right now? Oh my God, we didn't really kill him. Now what do we do? And he was released from the shackles of the justice system. So I'm going to talk about really quick. I just want to play this for a second, and then I'm going to tell you what's coming for this week ahead. Okay. And it does talk about waves of justice are playing out right now. Now you need to prep for this Lionsgate portal. If you have not healed enough, it's going to be a very interesting journey for you. Let's hear.
That hit his ear. That was supposed to hit his brain.
Yep.
And his response was not to take a backward step, to not show any weakness at all. He stood up, pumped his fist, and said, fight, fight, fight.
I never thought that
Fight, 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 baby. That's what you have to do against the shadow. You can't falter. You can't be weak.
I'm very worried for him, though.
Yes.
Because these guys are not going to stop here, because now he really can't lose the election. There's no scenario here where they're going to be able to play a mail-in voting, because this is over. You have to convince the public that the majority of people agree with the thing you're going to say is happening. And good luck with that now, because every single secret supporter of Donald Trump is out in the open now. No one's afraid anymore. It's insane that people.
Why? You better not be afraid of darkness to light. If you're not choosing light loudly, vividly, boisterously, with love and that kind of proud stance, not pride. You got to be careful with pride. That's a shackle that binds you. But proud to be who you are, proud of the return of Christ, proud to let go of this matrix. And I'm going to talk about that this week because there are karma waves coming in this week. Okay. Here, before I continue, I'm going to talk to you about this week ahead. So this is what God said about this week ahead. Waves of justice overcoming days, months, and years will include presidency, medical field, justice system, continued media, and Hollywood waves, and also karma waves of individual and collective soul base, because I undid all of the darkness. You have to rise out of it. You have to. All of it, my friends, not just what you think you need to, all of it. All will reap what's been sown. Another layer of veil is gone and thinned. No, let me read that better. So with these portals coming, it's the return of Christ energies coming in, because that's what I did. I replaced all of the return of Christ. I removed all the darkness. You guys need to understand this. I took chunks of the sun and filled it into the true ley lines from New Gingrich out. Not the ones you would necessarily think of. I undid the White House from the alignment of Stonehenge, okay? And we completely blasted it so that it cannot be rebuilt again, because they were using power against you, your power, your light against you. So with this veil being wiped out, that was Mount Shasta, part 1 and 2 that I talked about. They're not here anymore. It's not like the veil is thinning, it's demolishing. And every layer that demolishes, you better be ready to see these crazy things unfold. Okay. The White House isn't meant to be rebuilt. We're not going to have a presidency. It's the return of Adam and Eve. And I know you're looking for a man named Jesus, but who do you think Jesus was? What happened to Adam and Eve? It's all the same, and you can watch that play out on my channel. So another layer of veil is gone, not thinned, gone, never to return again. Important to meditate a lot this week. Get out of the shackles that bind that are in your mind. Detox all chemicals will help you for the ascension symptoms, because the symptoms that are coming in are muscular and esque. So it's like the carbon, what it says is the weird carbon and ozone earth layer effects. Okay. So with that false veil demolished, you guys hear me clearly. It's affecting you mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It is meant to. It's going to feel chaotic in the body and in the mind. And if you haven't removed all of the virus matrix from your body, illnesses can be rising. Okay. But this is like this weird toxing through the muscles. I can feel it in my shoulders. That's why I have this heavy thing on me. It's like a sandbag with lavender oil. It's so yummy. Somebody gave me this a long time ago, and I'm using it for support on my shoulders because I feel it. I feel these knots in my shoulders. And I've removed the virus matrix wall, and most of you have not. So with this weird carbon and ozone earth layer effects this week ahead, you need to be very careful with how it's affecting your body. When you have metal toxins within your system, foods that are not real, animals that are not DNA viable within your system, and even have a soul, right? That's not God. This is allowing those toxins within you to activate. Okay. And the earth, keep this in mind, hear me. So in muscles, but also creating a more gaseous layer in the ethereal. So it's super important to get out of it. We can't just shoot to the sky and above the ozone layer, but what we can do truly is raise our vibration. The more you meditate, the more you heal and release all of those toxins and all of the shadow matrix components, the better you're going to feel. Okay. You have to have a routine. You need to be working out. You really do. Stretching. Okay. Make way for more. These kinds of energies is what creates and makes way for northern lights. You're going to have vivid dreams of all kinds, from darkness ones to light, happy ones to sad ones. It can just depending upon what's processing for you. So there will be death of past life energy rising. Okay. Because all past lives are undone. You cannot come back here to clear karma ever again. This is a great reset. You can have dizziness, headaches, muscle aches this week a lot, drowsiness, 2 energy spikes. Okay. It just depends on your body and where you're at. And it will either bring illnesses to the surface or allow you to feel stiff and shackled. Okay. Must expand into the ethereal. The more you get out of the energy, you have to expand your heart this week to especially to prep for this portal rising. That's why I'm doing the workshop. The workshop I'm doing is 8 days. We're going around the world. I don't want to say where we're going because I never know until we do it. Just like I didn't know what a pyramid was that I was activating when I was doing those until I did them. Okay, but for 8 days, I need to take us through this healing and activations and more for the earth. So this is big. This is a very big portal coming up. You must expand into the ethereal layers of energetic cortex. Your chakras need to be cleansed. They need to be pure. If you have shadow components and karma still playing out, these things are going to smack you around big time. Okay. You need to be pure and detoxed within the chakras, balanced alignment to the masculine and feminine and more, which is the crystalline grid and my DM&I. Heart expansion in full swing. You have to expand your heart into the ethereal for this upcoming Lionsgate portal. Especially, but that's the return of Christ. You have to have a pure heart. If your heart is not pure, your chakra, your body, your mind, and That will determine which path you go on. So you don't have time. No matter what people are saying, decades to years to moments, you don't have time. You need to do everything you can now, every second of every day, to heal, to release, to align, to see clearly, and choose love. Everything is a test in that. So if you spew anything outside of that, you're creating a shadow you don't want to anchor into, or it's one that you're still anchored into. Okay. So allow emotions and challenges to teach lessons, not to be saturated in them. Now is the time to rise above. Virus 666 matrix wall rising, okay? And internal, external challenges this will bring, all right? This is karma playing out for you. So karma waves, individual and collective. Now let's finish watching this. That's what this week is about. Here we go.
People were, I mean, but I understand it. I do. I completely understand. We're gonna talk more about that, but we're gonna start, you know, let's start with like a diagram here, okay? So let's just look at the, look at this just as a starting point. And this is not the video that I'm referencing, because we're definitely gonna look at that, and I'll tell you exactly what I mean in terms of this doesn't add up, but this doesn't add up either, okay? So here's the rooftop, supporters over here. If you go onto the left side, the roof on the far left, that's where the guy took the shot from. How on earth could there have possibly been a person on that roof with a direct line of sight at the president standing on a stage if you have Secret Service there?
I also saw another video where Secret Service was actually ducking down and moved a couple people of the audience to duck down right seconds before he got shot. So why wasn't he surrounded by them? They were ducking down. Okay, they're not dumb. It's all aligned. But what did God said? Up on the rooftop, it may seem is such a random placement. Not the case. That's what God said.
Explain that to me. How is that possible? How many Secret Service agents are there? So what are they doing? Like, okay, how many agents do you have? Now, I personally have seen Trump's motorcade, like right next to us. When we went to UFC 287, I was with Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins coach, and they held us up at the gate. And they were like, you're going to have to wait for a little while, sir. And I said in the car, I was like, who's a bigger deal in Miami than Mike McDaniel? And they're like, it's Secret Service motorcade. And we're like, oh, Ron DeSantis. And he's all, we're like, Trump? Dude, he had literally a caravan of SUVs. Absolutely unbelievable number of people. Okay, how are you allocating those resources if a rooftop, there's only how many rooftops here, does not get an agent on there? How is that? How, I mean, I'm like, there's incompetence, and then there's, dude, this is, I don't need to have tactical background to know that, okay? I have no military background at all, none. I've shot a lot of guns. That has no bearing on the conversation here at all. If I know that step one of protecting the president is going to be find elevated positions and make sure that no one can be in or on one of them without us knowing about it and being able to put that threat down.
Yes.
Step one.
Yeah, it's
How?
just like God said, up on the rooftop, it may seem is such a random placement. Not the case. Was planned for months and days to cause a rift and shift as before in familiar ways. Just like I talked about my live yesterday, all the way back to Abraham Lincoln and all the ones who have been assassinated, they have a common link. They went against the 666 matrix, their programming, they didn't agree with it. And so they take them out.
Okay, 150 yards away. Dude, again, I am not some elite tactician or elite shooter. I could shoot out a nickel at 150 yards. Okay, that's not a challenging shot at all.
I'm glad he can shoot so well. I really don't want to hear about that. Just tell me what I'm here to see. Okay.
And I'm not saying that to give myself a hand job about shooting. I'm saying that like anyone who's competent can hit a grapefruit from that side, from that distance. Trump is alive out of sheer miracle.
No, yes, it's protections from God.
He moved his head literally at the exact moment that the bullet was fired.
And so I've actually have protected him before. I think it's been a while. Roger thought I did it recently, but I've been looking, I haven't found that. But I did do that before. He's been grounded. I've put white bubbles around him several times. God is on his side. He is rectifying anything from his soul by following the light of God. That means he's going against the darkness. And just like he said, when he was shot, he stood up and said, fight, fight, fight. Okay, you fight against the shadow, you fight against the darkness, but you do it with love. Do it with love.
So anyway, that right there
And truth.
does not make a lot of sense to me. But I want to show you guys the thing that I was referencing though. Okay.
And somebody else did perish in that, so it's very sad. He did actually manage to take a life, and it was an innocent bystander, as far as we know. It was somebody in the audience. They did release who he was.
So this is supposedly a classmate of this guy. Okay, so that's where. Oh, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I would appreciate it if you would do that. It's very helpful to the channel, and I would assume that you'll know by now whether or not we are like-minded and you find me entertaining, because if you don't, you probably already want to. Well, you probably actually left. All right, so as a prerequisite for this is an interview supposedly with one of his former classmates, and let's just see how this feels to you.
The suspected shooter here, and we have some movement here where you hear an ambulance or a car horn. Excuse that background noise. But one thing that we also heard from that conversation is that when we asked what he was bullied for, what this shooter was bullied for, he pointed to his clothing. Apparently, according to this person who's—
You guys, I'm sorry, I was bullied. I was bullied. All of elementary through high school. You know, it wasn't until I became an adult that I became truly full powerful, and bullying stopped, and I felt very beautiful, and I came into myself. And then my twin flame journey happened, and the ascension, and I almost died, and he did die. But we're all bullied. It doesn't create a mass shooter. It does not create somebody who wants to kill somebody else usually. So it's already in their psyche. Okay, it's something already within them that just needs that spark.
says he was a classmate, the shooter would wear military style clothes or hunting clothes regularly as he was at school. So we're
Okay, so that's so
I think we all might have that ability. It just depends on how far you're pushed. Maybe some of us really don't, but I'm just telling you right now, there's a lot of people who are bullied. I feel like that is just their common thread.
so he was bullied all the time. Now this is not the part. Now I'm going to show you the actual kid interviewed. All right. So yeah, he's bullied every day because of his clothes, because he wore like military style stuff, you know, like that. You know, there's nothing generic about this. Now watch this. Does this seem authentic to you guys? Or does this seem like someone who's like reading a script poorly? You know what I mean?
As a second gen.
He was bullied almost every day.
in what way can you explain?
I mean, he would sit alone at lunch. I mean, he was just the outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays. So they're gonna see someone like that and they're gonna target him because they think it's funny or whatever. So it's the best way I can describe it. And it's honestly kind of sad. Like, I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know.
Are you, does that seem real to you guys?
I mean,
Does that come off really authentic? You know, kids these days. Is that how kids talk? You know,
I'm gonna skip a little.
Heard all what they said to him or called him?
No, he was just made fun of, I guess, for the way he dressed or his appearance.
where did they find this kid? Where did they find him? Where did they find that kid? You know, they're just, oh, we're just doing we're just kind of interviewing people on the street. And it's all, yeah, I'm a classmate of his. You're a classmate of whose? You know, of the guy who just took a shot. You're all, you know who that is already? Yeah, I do. I do know who that is. Because here's the deal. When you talk about the deep state, which if anyone has doubts that exists, I don't think you understand what the deep state is. And I'll explain it to you in a second, actually.
666, baby. You're Antichrist. It's all there. And it's all, so it's like tangled webs you weave. It's through Hollywood, the media. They use all of these things to confuse you, divide you, get in your head. It's that programming, the 666 wall programming. This is the stuff you got to step outside of. Okay. It really truly is. So you guys can finish watching that. But what I found it to be the most amazing is that I had said here, let's see this one. In my 4th of July, when I said literally Trump versus Biden, it's from demise to rise. Okay. Don't pay attention to the lies. Don't be fooled by the lies. Okay. Where you give your power away, time, fear, ego, money, judgments, medical field. All right. It's all here. The waves of justice that are coming this week and for months and days and years to come is through, what did they say? Presidency, medical field, justice system, continued media, and Hollywood. Okay. And as of today, the charges against Trump were dropped for the false documents cases. Now, all of this came through in my message yesterday. It's been coming through a lot because during the return of Christ work, consider we have soldiers of light, just like they have soldiers of darkness. Trump is one of light, whether you agree with him or not. You may not like some of his choices, but who are you to say? Are you perfect? No. Neither was he, but this is him redeeming his soul. Okay. And he's helping take down the darkness from the inside. And even if you don't like that, that's the way it is. If you don't feel comfortable with this changes, it's going to get you. Just like he said, Trump took a shot and stood up and said, fight, fight, fight. Do you know how much I took on during the return of Christ? People don't realize how painful it was for me. It wasn't easy because I was constantly being attacked, constantly having to heal. My own DM didn't make it and I got a walk-in. So it is very much so a stance of strength, a stance of power, calling your power back, loving truth, loving love, loving God, wanting to end suffering, wanting to end division, wanting to be united through the love of God, through the love of Christ once and for all, to take our power back, because united we stand and divided they fall. Make sure you are healing every second of every day. You don't have time. You don't delay. Choose wisely the paths. Every moment you have an opportunity. And in order to make it through this Lionsgate portal, a lot has to be healed completely. Okay. You can join me in my workshop coming up if you want to. It's going to be from the 1st through the 8th of August. I will take you through the portal that way. If it doesn't call to you, then you're not ready. Okay. All I can tell you, my friends, is I'm happy. I'm proud of who I am. God called me Mahogany because I took a lightning strike and kept on ticking, and so has Trump. We're going to survive, but the right way, because it's not the end of the world. It is the end of ways outside of God. You cannot take the light into the darkness anymore, and you cannot use the darkness from the light, right? The darkness cannot take the light, and the light cannot encompass the darkness. You have to let that go. One or the other. It's up to you. Okay. That's why God called it his soldiers. So as a soldier who worked for Democratic Party, okay, they called him that because you have soldiers of darkness and then you have warriors of light. Which side are you on, my friends? Hopefully your soul is in flight, because it's this portal you need to rise to magnificent feats. Okay. Do not bring judgment here. If you're going to comment, please comment with love only. Do not bring religion here. Religion will not survive either. Till next time, my friends. Thank you for being here. And please like and subscribe. But take your time to watch the workshops, the entire return of Christ, because how blessed are we to see that unfold right before your eyes. Until next time, have a great week ahead. Expand past the ethereal this week. Expand that heart as much as you can. Get your immune system up as much as you can, and you need to detox any heavy chemicals and metals and substances from your body to help your muscles. Okay? Till next time.